Hello, everyone. I am your host, Estera, Country Ambassador of Commonwealth Iconic Federation, Soft Skill Trainer, Certified Global Trainer, International Inspirational Speaker, Educationist, numerous award winner, welcoming you to our 16th episode on Talk Show for Experts Coffee with Estera, powered by Independent Perception and Research Hub, Malaysia. Initiative by its founder and CEO, Professor Dr. Muhammad Shahriar Parvez. Independent Perception and Research Hub is an educational, research, and consultation center for talented researchers and educational scholars to share their perception on different issues and facts. The main goal of IPRH is to enlighten the independent perception of individual thoughts by knowledge sharing because IPRH always believes that knowledge is power. It is a great honor, dear audience, to introduce one of our versatile personalities of this era, a great friend and an enthusiastic talent. She is an award-winning international speaker, educationist, speech coach, actress, comedian, and an entrepreneur. To you, I am glad to introduce to you this um, wonderful personality, dear valued audience. I greatly admire her energy and her dedicated involvement as a social worker on international platform. Let me introduce our honorable, respected Miss Jeannie Rapstad from India.
Thank you very much, but I think you meant to say USA. But yes, I am very happy to be here.
Amazing, amazing. Welcome, welcome. Dear audience, you may continue to like, comment, and put questions. If you have any questions to ask Miss Jeannie, or even ask me, you can just put in the comment box. And I thank you in advance for supporting us. If not only for this show, for all our previous show and future show. Thank you. So, okay, yeah, please.
Wonderful opportunities for me personally. And I live in Northwest Indiana, which I'll tell you a little bit, sits on the southern shore of Lake Michigan, which is one of the five Great Lakes. And it's the only Great Lake that we don't share a border with Canada, you know. And the
Okay.
important thing about the Great Lake system is that freight travels from the Atlantic Ocean, enters through Canada, goes along the St. Lawrence Seaway into the Great Lakes Seaway. And so we have ocean vessels bringing and exporting goods from right here in Indiana. So that provides a lot of jobs. We have a steel industry here. We have a petroleum refining industry here. And this is all basically sits along the southern shore of Lake Michigan because
Oh,
80% of Indiana is farmland.
oh,
And that's very important. We are one of the major farm states in the United States, producing field crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat. But we also have a major university system here in Indiana, which I'm very proud of because I'm an alumna. Purdue University, I got my master's degree there. I earned my master's degree, I have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of being associated with that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. But
Yes.
Indiana for me is the perfect place to live. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Wow, wow. I'm getting to know Indiana more through you. I've heard of the name alone, but I don't know about the state much. Now, dear audience, you have this opportunity to visit Indiana through our amazing personality today. Yes, please carry on. Is that so? Is that only? Shall I continue next, or is that?
Well, I think that it would be important to recognize that because of the shape of the United States, you cannot go from the West Coast across the top of the country to the
Yes,
East Coast.
yes,
We have Great Lakes. So
yeah.
as a result, you travel down until you get to Wisconsin and you come down along the southern shore. So Indiana is known as the crossroads of the United States because if
Oh,
you want to go from west to east at some point, you're going to have to go through Indiana if you're traveling from the north.
oh, from the north, you will go down to Indiana, and then from there, how do you get to the west side
Then
of
you
the?
travel, then you travel up through Michigan, and then you can head on out. But there is because of the Great Lakes, you cannot travel directly from the west
Yes,
coast to the
yes. I can still remember the lake is like in a form like a leaf, right? Like a
yeah,
leaf, yeah,
there's
like a
5 of
leaf,
them.
yeah. I can still
Yeah,
remember. I studied in
but
geography.
that's
Yeah, let's have
that's
coffee.
my state.
Wow, let's have coffee.
Red Skelton is on my cup. He was one of the famous comedians from Indiana and one of my mentors, even though he didn't know it. But I
Yeah,
learned a lot watching his program on TV. Because I was too young to listen to his radio program. That was before I was born. But he was on TV for 25 years.
wow.
And I learned a lot from him. So for me, Indiana has been a very, very wonderful place because I didn't grow up here, you see. I
Oh,
was born in nearby Chicago, but I grew up in Salinas, California.
mm,
Then I lived in New Orleans for a time, and then I lived out of the country. But I landed in Indiana, and to me, it was destiny, and I just really love it here.
yeah. Now, through your description and sharing, I'm really now interested to visit Indiana. You know,
You,
I
you,
was.
you should,
So,
you
how's
should.
the weather like throughout the year? How is the weather like?
Well, we have the 4 seasons, so we're definitely going to have snow.
Ah,
And but I love the 4 seasons. I love jacket weather in the fall. I love the winter, as long as we don't get too much snow. I
oh,
like the spring when everything starts, blooming
blooming.
again. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm not a fan of hot weather. I've lived in humid, New Orleans is very humid, and I lived in the
Ah,
Philippines for a while, and that's very humid. But
yeah.
I'm not a fan of hot
Like
weather. So
Malaysia. Philippines weather is just like Malaysia.
yeah, that kind of weather. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I would like to go to Malaysia one of these days. But I tell
Please
you,
come. I'm your
if
host.
you
Don't worry.
if
Please
they
come.
if you ever make it over here, I will show you around. I love to show off Indiana, and I will take you over to the fabulous campus of Notre Dame, which is world famous. I take you to Purdue. We'll go to the Studebaker Museum, which is over in South Bend. I'll take you into Chicago. We'll do the architecture tour. We'll have ourselves a good time.
So, because you are in the US, if I want to visit your country, I need to have a sponsor. Then you have to sponsor me as as a host. Then only I can get my visa because US is quite strict with people
Well,
visiting the
well,
country.
well, I would do that if
Ah,
I you're my guest, I would say, please let her come visit me.
Yeah, of course. With your recommendation, they will allow me. Okay, dear. Let's, if I come there, I think both of us will be going to rock Indiana. Okay, with your character and my character, I think we can jive that easily. Yeah. Okay.
I think we, I
Yeah.
think we have a good time.
Yes. Shall we go to the next one here? Okay. Your educational
Yes, let's
topic
do
today
that.
is lifelong learning. You mentioned that the old expression, you explained that old expression that the tassel worth the hassle. Interesting, right? How do you define hassle? Do you believe that lifelong learning is a hassle for you and most people?
Well, thank you for that question. First of all, I wanted to ask you, is that, do you use that expression in Malaysia, the tassel, meaning the tassel on your graduation mortar board?
Yeah.
So do you use that expression, the tassel is worth the hassle? Do you use
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, for us, I think most people think that the short answer, yes. Going through university can be a hassle for people who, especially if they don't have financial resources. If you come from a family where no problem, you just apply for schools, get accepted, you go, fine. But for most people in the United States, it takes financial planning. And if your parents don't have money, then we have to talk about student loans or apply for scholarships, apply for whatever grants are available. And that was the case in my family. My mother raised 4 children on her own. And so at first, when I graduated from high school, I thought it was going to be way too expensive for me to go to university. And I was in New Orleans at the time. But after 1 year of not not being in a job that was meaningful to me, I went back to school. So I spent 2 years, borrowed money. I did very well in school, and I had the acting bug back then. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to sit here and get into debt. Why don't I go while I'm still young to Los Angeles and try and get in the movies? And so time passed and time passed. So I eventually went back to school, and I finished my degree. And so from the time I started school in the 1969 to the time that I finished in my last exam in December of 1993, it was 26 years. Took me 26 years to get through college.
Doesn't matter. You achieved your goal, and
I
you
like
see,
to laugh about that.
yeah, if people go through the normal schooling life and age, it's not so great. But if you persistently, in spite of so many challenges, you still wanted to do your studies and you achieve even at the age where people are not interested about life, you are still learning and you achieve it. So it's a great achievement. Not everybody can do that. Yeah.
No, I
My
agree with you.
admirer.
And to have that determination
Yes.
and the dedication to do it is not easy. And
Yeah.
especially when you're working full time and you have other responsibilities. Now, I've never had children, so I didn't have the experience of going to school and raising kids at the same time. I have
Yeah.
some people that I have met, and I admire them very, very much for doing that. But when I decided to go back to school, I decided that it would be benefit me if I had a master's in communication. And
Oh.
I started at Purdue. I live here in Hammond, and Purdue Northwest is just down the street, less than 3 miles, and I thought I'm going to go. And then my mother came to live with me, and she had health problems, and so I took some time off from that because my mother really wanted to spend some time with me and have a life. I was working in Chicago all day, going to school at night, and she was feeling very lonely and neglected. So we spent some time traveling. And then in the last 5 years of her life, I was her sole caregiver. She's in my house. And so I go take one class, one class, one class. So I finally graduate May
Wow.
of 2018. I can't tell you how happy I
Very good.
was.
Yeah.
I was so happy. And my mother was also very supportive and happy about that because she had been watching me as we went along. And my mother had many, many health problems. And in the field of communication that I'm in, had a big project as one of my requirements for graduating, and it was I chose the topic end of life communication, helping my mother die.
Oh.
It's a project that she wanted to be a part of. She said, Jeannie, I want to help people. I want people who are going through caregiving like you and people like me who are now in hospice, and we have our future is mapped out for us in terms of months. And she said, if it'll help somebody, let's work on this together. So
Oh.
I completed the project, and then I ended up presenting it at the research day that Purdue offers for their faculty and grad students, called the Days of Discovery. So I felt very much like a teacher and student at the same time, because the research was based on the reports of nurse practitioners who are basically with the families when the patients are terminal or in hospice. You basically, the patient's family deals with this charge nurse, not the doctor as much, because they're sort of at the end of life and there's not a lot of procedures that they're doing. So it's just making everybody comfortable and listening to them and soothing their heart. And so that was a very valuable paper for me to spend time on. And I was glad that my mother wanted to be a part of it.
Amazing. No, it's so wonderful. You see, having our parents close to us, even though they can't do anything for us, being there, having them around itself is a great moral support. Yeah, and she have told you that she want to be part of your project. That is even incredible. It's really incredible, and I'm so happy for you that your mom was very close to you in her last days. But I wasn't so lucky. I was away from my mother all the time, my parents all the time, because I'm ambitious to continue my studies. And then, I didn't go back to my hometown, which is a smaller city in Malaysia. I only go, but I used to visit my parents once a week, but still I'm not near her all the time. So, but my heart is always close to them. So I know how precious it is to have your mom close to you, and having her in that condition, not so healthy, you still made it. You see, when we see our loved ones a bit down, that affects us a lot, right? But in spite of all the challenges, you did do it. You made it, Jeannie. You made it. Amazing. Congratulations. The
No,
audience is such an inspiration for every one of us. So there is no excuse. There's no age limit if you want to continue your studies, gain knowledge.
yeah.
Yes.
And it is even have to do with university degrees. We have to keep up with technology. We have to keep up with what's going on around us. Otherwise, we just become old people sitting in front of a TV.
Yes.
And that's not the life that I want to live. So I found that the internet, all these YouTube channel where people are teaching this, that, and the other thing is really helpful. Like, for example, I want to change the battery in my garage door opener. I go to YouTube. How to change the
Yes.
YouTube pops up and somebody's teaching me how to do something I didn't know how to do. I think fabulous.
Yes.
And I consider that learning, because before I didn't know how to do it, and now I know how to do it.
Yeah, this is how you use the technology available. You know, a lot of people misuse the internet. You know, whatever is there, people misuse and they get into trouble. If you know how to make good use of it, leverage on that, and you can make your life better, independent. You know, people like us, very independent. We don't have to depend on anybody. We don't need a man next to us all the time to get what we want, right? So, you know, it's life without being too dependent on anyone is, of course, it's a great bliss. Yeah, it's blessing. Yeah. Okay, dear, let's go and have a look at your photo album. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, okay. Let me put the screen. Okay, this is amazing. Wow, wow. Your red color, so attractive. Okay, so here we see America. So Louisiana is somewhere, Indiana is somewhere here, right?
Okay, you see where your cursor is, at that Great Lake there at the bottom?
Yeah,
At the
here.
bottom. Move
Here or
over.
here?
There.
Here.
That's Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
Indiana
yeah.
is
I
right
know
there.
that is Lake Michigan, but Indiana is right at the which place? Is it here? This
On
area?
the southern shore of Lake Michigan, and then up to the left of that is Illinois, where Chicago is, because Chicago is also on Lake Michigan in a different state. But
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying about it's impossible to drive through from the West Coast to the East Coast
Yeah,
without
you
having
can't
to
drive across, yeah? You have to
yeah,
go
'cause
through here, yeah?
yeah.
Or maybe if there's any passage this way. But can you travel by ship, by water, or anything direct from here? Yeah?
There is a system of ferries in certain
Ah, yeah,
areas.
there should be because
I'm
it's
not
waters. Mm.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure that you could take a ocean going vessel out through the Atlantic Ocean. You may be better off flying to a city along
Of
the
course.
eastern seaboard. Yeah.
Especially when during winter, it's all got like it's frozen,
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah.
Yeah, ice and
Ice
all that.
flow.
Yeah, so everything will be down, even the transportation, like like they have to transport all the wheat, everything, using this through these waters. It's going to be difficult during winter, right? I
Yeah.
think they're using.
In, in in that case, a lot of the produce, those kinds of things, if it's winter and the waterways are frozen, then they will travel by truck to a warm port along the eastern coast and maybe go across the Atlantic, or even in some cases go around the Panama Canal.
Ah,
So
yeah, Panama,
if
yes.
because if everything is frozen, they have to have alternate ways of shipping. So
And,
that means more things will go by truck to a port of call.
yes, I was watching the news just now about Panama Canal. No, due to the climate change, although it's not winter, now they're having problem, not enough water because when it pass through certain level, then they have a raised water level in order to get the ship floating through,
Yes.
sailing
Uh-huh.
through. So now because of the climate change, they don't have enough water. You see,
Wow.
get the
Wow.
vessels. So there's a traffic jam there in the ocean,
Hmm?
leading to through the
Yeah.
Panama Canal. Yeah. Okay, dear. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, this is
Yes.
your area. Look, dear audience. Look at this amazing lady. How wonderful it is. You want to talk about it? The tassel was worth the hassle.
That I would have to say that anybody, and I do say this to people who ask me, Jeannie, I only have an associate degree. Should I go for the bachelor? I say yes. It can't hurt your life at all. In fact, it's a total benefit. The more education you have, the more the world opens up to you. And
Yes.
we'll talk about that in just a minute for me. But
Yeah.
yes, I think the earning power, you see, before I got my bachelor degree, I went from one low paying, unsatisfying job to the next.
Yes.
And um, and then when I completed my education, I had an opportunity to make more money, have more opportunities. So as far as I'm concerned, yes. And
That,
this is because of my experience, is the reason why I developed the Speech Genie program, which we'll talk about later, because I want people to have the opportunity to make the best life they can for themselves. I
yes.
don't want them to feel like they're trapped in going nowhere.
Yes.
I want them to think, no, I have an opportunity. I can learn, I can develop myself, and I can find an opportunity that I
Um,
don't have now. And so
yeah.
I think castle is definitely worth the hassle.
We open ourselves for opportunity. We prepare ourselves for opportunity. Yeah. Opportunities sometimes, very
Yes,
seldom opportunities find you. But if you are not ready, you can't even recognize the opportunity. Right?
yes, yes, exactly. Exactly. And if an opportunity comes by and you don't have the skill set,
Uh-huh.
then you can't take the opportunity.
Yes, you can't take.
That's the reason we can't just sit around wasting our time.
Yes.
Our time is the most precious thing we have.
Yeah.
Our time is more precious than money.
Yes.
So we can't
Gold.
just waste
Gold.
time.
Yes. We in Malaysia, we have our proverb in Bahasa Malaysia, our national language. Time is gold. So precious.
Yes,
I would say now, because of the busy life full of hassle and tassel, you know, with the tassels, I think time is diamond, not even gold, diamond. So precious.
yes,
Yes?
yeah,
Okay, let's
yes.
go to the next. Yeah, the world was opened up to me. Let's talk about it. Why you go to China, Philippines, everywhere. I was so surprised when I see China, Philippines, Japan. Let's hear from you. Yes.
Well, I graduated. I took my last exam in December of 1993, but my class didn't graduate until May of 1994. So
Mhm.
during that time, from when I graduated, I had a part-time job at an oil company. It was just a clerical job, and I was looking here and there for jobs, applying for jobs, and there was just nothing up there in Montana because Montana is a even though a large state, very small population, very limited industry. It's ranching, farming, being a lawyer, selling insurance. There's not any kind of real industry there. And so I was having a difficult time. And so one day I was at school. This was before our ceremony. And I was looking around the placement office again and going through the folders. And I came across one that said international jobs. And I said, well, let me see what these people are talking about here. And there were 5 English language schools in Japan looking for teachers. So I said, okay, they have jobs. I need a job. I faxed off interest to the 5 schools. I heard back from 3. I took the first one that sent me a contract, and I was 2 weeks after I graduated, I was on the plane to Japan. I started teaching on May the 24th of 1994. And I spent 2 years teaching. And in the pictures in Japan, you will see that it was children and adults. I had students from age 3 to 65, because over there, you can see that they were interested, the adults were interested in lifetime learning. They wanted to, because the better their English skills, the more opportunities they had at work too, and to take different types of jobs. So after 2 years of teaching, I was offered a job. The owner of my school came to me and said, Jeannie, one of our clients, you're teaching his secretary, he wants to know if you would be interested to come to work for them, because they have a new quality control program project that they are implementing in the Philippines factory, and they need an English speaker, somebody that's proficient in English, and would you be interested in this? And he said, now I'm going to tell you right now, you should take this opportunity, because it's more money than I can pay you and more opportunities. So he said, you should really consider taking this job. And I thought, well, this is what I should do. And it turned out to be an excellent decision. And as a result of going to work for the plastics company, we also had a factory in China. So I went over to visit the Chinese factory, and also I scheduled a holiday there. And then after that, I was transferred 9.5 months to the Philippines factory. And so I worked in Calamba, Laguna, at the factory there. Yeah. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me. And you see, all of this happened to me because I completed my bachelor's degree. If I hadn't gotten that degree, I would have had none of these opportunities.
Yes.
So the world really was opened up to me, literally.
Amazing.
And then I went on travel. I went on business travel to Korea, Thailand. It was just a wonderful, wonderful way for me to see the country and somebody else, see the world, and somebody else paying for it,
Yeah,
So
what is a spectacular journey of yours. And it's so inspiring to know this. So opportunity is everywhere. First thing is education. If you have education, if you know how to apply what you have, right? It's no point you have papers after
Yes.
papers after papers, but you are doing nothing about it. Yeah, you are,
Yeah.
you took the first, you
And
took
when
action.
you have an opportunity,
You took action.
yes, the action is different. Because when somebody presents you with an opportunity, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't sit around thinking, oh, should I do this? Just, you get an opportunity and you just take it. And I have never been sorry. In fact, it has been the most enriching 4.5 years of my life, spent over on in the Asia Pacific Rim area working. So yes, very wonderful for me.
Real, dear, real. You need courage, you know, you need to be bold in order to take up. And for a lady to travel so far right after studies to take up a job in foreign countries, like going into a jungle where you don't know where is the direction, right? But still
Yes.
you made it, and you are courageous. That is the most important. Yeah, even those say, uh, we have seen some people who are not so highly educated, but they have the courage to venture into something boldly. No, that's what I did also. So I can understand what you are talking about, dear. Yeah, you see, so courageous. So you are an admirable person. You are a good, you are an
Thank you.
inspiration for every woman,
Thank you.
even for men.
I think that we have to have confidence that
Yes,
we can handle ourselves,
yes.
and that's because we also have maybe a foundation of faith that we know who we are. We spend a little time examining what we want out of life, what our values are, and so we
Yeah.
know, okay, I'm going to get on that plane and I'm going to go to Japan, and I don't know any Japanese at all, but somehow this is all going to work out. And
Yeah.
that's exactly how I felt.
Wow, wow. You decided to go even to speak to people in sign language. I don't.
Yes.
Sign language will do. I will make it. Okay, amazing, dear. Let's go to the next one. Wow, such an interesting journey. It
Thank you.
inspired me. Your journey really inspired me. No?
Thank you.
Come, let's
Thank
go
you.
to the next one. You are the creator of the speech genie. Yeah?
Speak,
Uh,
yes, speak
yeah.
Jeannie rehearsal
Please,
method.
yes, that.
And
Okay, can you please share with us about this, dear?
I'm so happy about this opportunity to share this with you because the informal launch of my Speech Genie website is going to be September 15th. Right now, the website is live. In other words, if you went there, you would see an opportunity to sign up, but it's not really fully launched yet. I'm doing a little bit of tweaking. But
Yeah.
when I started teaching at Purdue and started coaching private clients on how to speak better and improve their presentations, I found out that very few people knew how to rehearse because they had absolutely no training. When I
Oh,
started teaching clients one on one, I was working with a lady and she had a business presentation coming up and she was nervous about it because she didn't have a lot of experience. So I was working with her and then I said to her, okay, now I want you to rehearse what we discussed today and then
mhm.
come back next week and let's see where you are. And she looked at me and she said, Jeannie, I don't know how to rehearse.
Yeah.
When I was teaching at Purdue, very first day, I asked the students, how many of you have ever given a speech before? Less than 15% in my classes. And I found that this was the same with the other instructors. No speech training at high school. This class that they are
Yeah.
in is required by the state of Indiana and every college and university in the state. And that's the only speech class they will have to take during their 4-year curriculum. So as a result, a lot of people graduate from high school, from university, and they don't have really much experience at all in communicating on a professional level. So
Mhm.
this is a hindrance in terms of career development. So I put together this program that's symbol based. because we live in a world of symbols and emojis, and this is where we live. So the idea is that you can go to my learning platform, sign up, and you have the opportunity to use study materials that I've created. But most importantly, you have access to the editing bay where you can type in or cut and paste in a script, and you can start entering via symbols your delivery choices that you made. And by delivery choices, I mean an underlying attitude, a pause, rate of speech, hand gestures, stage movement. So here we have an example of the symbols. And this is, of course, done for this slide. This is not what it looks like exactly, but these are the exact symbols. So what we have here on the rehearsal screen is a little paragraph. Public speaking is the modern day fast food version of the art of oratory. While all oratory is public speaking, not all public speaking is oratory. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to punch it up. So I have my rate of speed here. I have facial expression. I remind myself to make eye contact with the audience. And I've decided with the arrow that I am going to cross to the right when I start my speaking. And then at the end of the art of oratory, I've inserted a pause. And then when I get to the next line, while all oratory, I'm going to emphasize that. And then I use a hand gesture and more emphasis, not all. So I underline it, I have my symbol, and then I use an exclamation point because I'm ending my sentence. So now here I'm going to rehearse this presentation.
How? So your this speech rehearsal methodology, do you have like speaking, listening, writing? No, it's only about speech.
On this particular iteration of the product, it is dedicated to speech rehearsal because you know it's very expensive to launch one of these things.
So how much do you charge if anyone
So
like
it will be $10 a month, and they can go on
so
and
affordable.
use it, and they can have access to the teaching materials that I've posted in the folders. And over time, if this works out well, then they can send me a video if they want me to do an evaluation for them. That could be like a premium charge for that, because that's more of my time. But so what I plan to do is show people how this works, especially to this business group that I'm presenting on September the 15th, because these are people that make presentations to clients, to their bankers when they're trying to get more financial investment into their companies, and a variety of areas where they want to arrive rehearsed and ready to go. Because if you don't prepare, you have every opportunity of failing. You know, you do. So how we avoid that is we prepare in advance. And so this methodology assists people in putting together a really concise program. And I do this to a certain extent without the symbols when I coach people, you know, and then I ask them to, well, you should pause here, speed this up a little bit, because my clients some of them are TED Talk speakers. Some of them are just going out and trying to raise money from venture capitalists, because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that did not have a lot of speech training. And so it's just like we were talking about before. It's a lifetime of learning. If you don't have those skills already and you're trying to launch a business, then you need to get those skills, either by hiring me or going on my website and practicing whatever it is that you need, because you cannot just sit back and say, well, I didn't learn that in high school, so for the rest of my life, I'm not
no
going to
excuse nowadays. Yes.
That's right. No
For being an entrepreneur, you have to be, this is also a part of very important skill for everyone, not only entrepreneurs, for everyone. Even if you're working, you need
Yes.
communication skill and a proper skill, right?
Yes, and because you see, the thing is, when you are working for a company, you speak to your subordinates, you speak to committee members, you speak to your immediate superiors, you speak to the top brass sometimes. You don't want to just show up unprepared and, flop around and sound like you don't know what you're talking about at all. So the best thing to do is people come to me and they say, Jeannie, I've got a big presentation coming up. Let's work on this. I have 6 weeks.
Just let me know when everything is ready, dear. Once everything ready, let me know. I would like to visit your speech rehearsal methodology.
Thank you.
It's really wonderful.
I'll be happy to.
Okay, so I think that's all our slide. Let's go to our question. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that.
Very nice journey. It's something extraordinary, not something different than all my other guests. Yeah, because you have shared a lot of things. You have boosted up, the energy, and you have boosted up the plans. People, maybe they'll be thinking, oh, what am I going to do next? What is up there? So you have, by your sharing, have given people hope. Yeah, given people hope. Opportunity. Look for opportunity. Opportunity doesn't always come to you. Yeah, they say opportunity comes once, but you can find opportunity numerous times, right? You change the
Yes, because sometimes we have to create our own opportunity. It's just like I couldn't find a job. And then I go to the placement office and I see there's these people in this other country have a job. Yeah. That's where I need to go. So I created that opportunity for myself.
Yes.
Because I just didn't stay at home going, geez, I can't find a job. Life is hard.
We hate that. People like us, we hate that. So we always say, this is why I said it depends on the person. So we have to, we don't learn everything from books. We don't learn everything from whatever we know is just handful. The Indians have a proverb. What you know is just handful. There's a lot of as big as ocean you yet to explore. Yeah.
Yes.
What you don't know is as big as ocean. What you know is just handful. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of opportunities there. Yes. Okay, dear.
Yes, absolutely. And that's
yeah. Okay. Shall we go to the
reasons why I really want to stress this lifetime learning with all of my friends that I work with. Because I can my clients, my friends. It's a lifetime. You can't be satisfied with just what you know now.
Yes. Then you are left behind. You are left behind. If you are satisfied with what you have, then you are left behind. You see, like for me, a lot of people, when I come to international platform, even my friends around, they ask me, "Wow, you can do so many things." Although I'm a jack of all trades, extras. What I mean is extras. What I studied, that is, of course, I studied. I complete full. but all other skills. I rather be jack of all trade, because you don't know anything is worse. At least you know something. When you need, you can polish up. Yeah, you
Yes,
can go
yeah,
further. So at least you know everything. Even like my staffs, when I had to do a lot of social media and all that, for example, I had staff to do my work. Still, I took up my marketing, digital marketing courses. I spend money. I go and learn, because you must know what you are paying for. You see,
yeah,
although
yeah.
you can't do, doesn't matter. When you pay, you know what you are paying for. People cannot take you for a ride. You know, simply charge you. You know
Mhm.
what they are doing, what they should do. You can lead them into doing what you want correctly. That is why I believe in learning. Don't say, oh, I have staff, I'm very comfortable, I got money, I throw money, let them do. I want to be too bossy. It doesn't work nowadays. Bosses must know, yeah? Okay, dear. Shall
I
we
agree.
go?
I agree.
Yeah. Shall we go to
Yeah.
the last question before your strong message? What do you enjoy doing in your space time? Because the question 3 and 4 you already answered during our photo session. Yeah. So now this, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Or
Well, I don't have much spare time, but so sometimes
yeah.
I like to take a nap with my cat.
Oh,
I'm
marmalade.
tired and I take marmalade and we go take a snooze for an hour. And to me, that is just the height of luxury. I feel like a
Wow.
millionaire.
Wow.
But one of the things that I do and on a daily basis is I am a appreciator of art, of especially illustrations
Ah,
and paint.
yeah.
And I collect it on from Pinterest and sources on the internet. And so every day I make an art post, generally in the morning and in the
Yes.
evening. My friends, they really enjoy it too, and so I
Me
like
too.
sharing
I'm your
it.
fan. I love all your pictures on the Facebook. Dear audience, please do visit her Facebook, Jeannie Rapstad. You will enjoy all the pictures. I screenshot. When I see screenshot, I put in my, I archive it. So when I need, I will use it. Because when I do my photo album, I'll use some of your photos. This is so lovely. I wish, you know, I don't know how you get all
Yes,
those pictures. Beautiful.
it is in a time investment, but I'll have to say one thing for you. If I am busy and tired and kind of mentally tired,
Ah,
I'll say, okay, let me go look through my art folder on everyday items. And I'll go in there and I have all of these things that I've been saving over the years, and something will touch my heart. And I say, okay, I'm going to post this tonight because it's speaking to me, it's calming me and making me feel happy. And that's what I do. And so I love finding new artists. And right now, there's a lot of digital artists that I'm not familiar with that I am beginning to know, and I love their work. And so I don't just post the pictures. I try to tell my Facebook,
yeah.
uh,
I see your captions.
see,
Amazing.
a little bio of the artist or where they
Yeah,
could get
yeah.
it, because that's part of the sharing for me is
Yes.
letting other people know who is creating this magnificent art. But thank you for telling me that you like it. I really appreciate it.
I love it. Not only like it, I love it. I like looking at it itself gives you a good feeling.
Yes.
Looking at it itself is so nice. I wish, sometimes I read, but not fully, because I'm just glancing through. I know I'm never too long on Facebook at one time, because I just cannot occupy. But I still wish I could leave a good sometimes I read your captions, you take the time and effort and the pain to explain who is the painter and what's the picture all about. That is really spectacular, extraordinary, dear.
Thank you.
Okay, we are coming
Thank
to
you. I love doing that.
yeah, dear audience, please, yeah, you are so blessed to have this amazing, versatile talent here today. Let's now hear her one strong message for every one of us. Please, dear, one strong message before we end the show.
Yes, this is my message to all of you who have been gracious enough to listen to my story, and that is lifetime learning is the most valuable gift you give yourself. To understand that you find life more rich the more you know about everything around you. And now we have such wonderful resources that are free. So go to the internet if you need to, hire somebody if you need to. But lifetime learning is the key to satisfaction and happiness.
Thank you for this wonderful message, dear audience. I really thank you for all your comments and your kind attention and journeying us through this amazing talk show. Till we meet again in next episode from Estera. Thank you.